Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special episode today. There's actually in life, there's only two bigs you need to know: Notorious B.I.G., rest in peace, and Mr. Big A. Anderson Obiagwu, founder of AFRIMMA, Big A Entertainment,
Hello.
not just Next Big Act, Bad Beats Records. The list goes on, doesn't it?
That's right. That's right.
If it's about Africa and crossing boundaries with music,
Yeah.
you're the man to talk to.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Today I want to talk to you about your story and your journey,
Yeah.
especially in African entertainment.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you got started.
I don't even know how we had to start. Like I don't know. Like growing up, I've always been passionate about everything, anything that has to do with Africa. Like just finding a way to tell our stories our own way, and just representing who we truly are, and just pushing Africa to the world. That's my passion. That's one thing I've always loved doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my journey with music started here in the United States. I came to the United States in I think it was like 1997, and I went to school, graduated from school,
Mm-hmm.
and then in between those times, I was traveling back and forth from here to Nigeria every Christmas, every holiday, and then the music wasn't really popular out here. You go to clubs out here, they play the likes of Tupac, Biggie
Mm-hmm.
in the 90s. So it wasn't really popular. Then when each time I go home, I see a new African artist like on the rise, Two Face, and Two Face, the rest of them at that time, and I just fell in love with the music. And when we get back here, even when we go to African clubs here, they don't play the music.
Mm-hmm.
You go to African parties here, they don't play the music. So
Yeah.
I'm like, this music is beautiful. Like, why? How come we're not enjoying it out here? So
I can't imagine a time like that because African music is so big right now.
yeah. So we went to one time I went to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine was hosting Two Face in Canada, so
Okay.
I flew into Toronto the day before, and I was hanging out with him. We went to the airport to pick up Two Face. So that whole experience, then I was backstage at the show.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an amazing feeling, just knowing that this guy flew all the way from Africa and he's here to entertain Africans in America. At that time, Afrobeat in America was just for Africans.
Okay.
So it was a lot of people that came out to the show. So I was like, I think I need to take this to the States. I need to start something like this, I need to start doing something similar in the States. So
Okay.
I came back. I called a couple of friends of mine and told them about my experience. And I'm like, okay, hey, we need to do something about this. Let's see if we can put this together.
Uh-huh.
That's how we started the new company, the first company ever. It was called New Era.
New
That
Era?
was a New Era. Yeah, that was before Big A. But
Okay.
New Era was.
I like that name.
Yeah, New Era was a company we put together. Me and a couple of friends of mine, Stanley, Tankraya, Yazoma, Dr. Chike, four of us, came together. Two of them are pharmacists. My other friend is a businessman, just like me. And we just came together and we put it together, and that's how we started New Era.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Well, were you the first promoter to do a show with Two Face in the States?
Two Face has been to the States before, prior to that time, but
Okay.
when he came, it wasn't like a tour. It wasn't
Okay.
like organized. It wasn't like an entertainment organized. There was no platform.
Okay.
He just came, and you know how it is. He came. He knew friends. He had friends.
He had friends,
and then
okay.
He performed maybe at a club.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a proper
tour.
yes.
Okay. So, who was the first artist you booked that you brought to the States for a tour?
The first artist, my first show, the first
Okay,
show,
let's
we
do
did-
it.
the first show
First
we
show.
did in America under that company, New Era. Okay, the first show we did was supposed to be with Timaya.
Timaya.
Then he was really buzzing.
Okay.
When he dropped those songs like Ogologo Ma,
Yes.
and the rest, Plantain Seller, all of
Uh-huh.
those songs. So he was really buzzing like crazy out of Africa. So we wanted to get him out here. So we reached out to a promoter in New York that said I'll have his connects. Then we didn't have direct access to this artist. There was no.
You had to talk to somebody to talk
Of
to somebody.
course, there was no DM. There was no nothing. So you have to find somebody that knows the artist
Oh, using facts?
personally, of course. So then we reached out to the guy in New York, Tough Gig. So he said he's working on bringing Timaya.
Okay.
So we paid a deposit and started promoting the show. We started promoting the show heavy. That was the first show ever in Dallas, and it was going to be at the Gallant Convention Center. We were going really hard. We had street team,
Yes.
passing out flyers, going to every African event.
Outside
anywhere in
outside
Dallas.
your car?
Yeah, so they put flyers on your car, you know, we go to weddings and then we tip the MC, the DJs to announce the show. So the show was getting the buzz. You
Okay.
know, people were really excited about something like that coming to Dallas and tickets were almost sold out.
Okay.
So a week before the show, I called the same friend of mine that hosted that show with Two-Face in Canada.
Okay.
So I called him, I'm like, bro, you know, I'm putting up my first show. I would love for you to come because he lives in Canada.
Okay.
But at that time, he was in Nigeria, in Lagos to be precise. So I said, hey, I'm putting up my first show in Dallas, so I would love for you to come out and just hang out with us and just support me. He's like, who's the artist? I said, this is Timaya. He said, damn, he wasn't with Timaya the night before at the club. That Timaya didn't say nothing about coming to America.
Oh my goodness.
Then he said, okay, hold on, let me put him on two-way,
Yeah.
on three-way. So he put Timaya on a two-way call. You know what Timaya first said? They were like, oh, bro, you didn't tell me you were going to America. My boy is doing your show in Dallas. It's like, Timaya was like, what's smelling America? Like, Timaya didn't have a visa.
Yeah.
That was a week to the show.
A week?
I'm not
And it
kidding
takes
you.
months to get a visa.
And then, you know, like back in the days, you can promote these shows all you want. The artists don't get to hear about the shows because then nobody's tagging them on social media.
Yeah. Oh my, that's a different world.
Of course, like he didn't know about the show. He didn't know people were promoting shows with his name on it in Dallas. Nothing like that. So now it's a week to the show. It was our very first show ever, and we didn't know what to do. So now I reached out to the same friend of mine, that lived in Canada. I'm like, bro, we're about to get out. We're about to get our behind swoop.
Yeah, because you know the fans once they're mad.
So we have to go to.
And you were just starting out.
That was the first show ever, and that would have killed the dream.
Yes.
You know.
Oh wow, you could have given up.
Of course.
All this.
So I was like, okay, what's the next plan? He said, you know, I can hook you up with Two-Face, and he can come do the show. But I'm like, this Timaya's face on the flyers, on the promotion. There's everybody that's coming to this show. Some people are coming from Austin, San Antonio. They already bought their tickets. So they're going to show up and then it's now Two-Face performing. He's like, that's damage control. There's nothing you can do at this point. We started to Two-Face. Two-Face was in Malaysia. He had a show in Malaysia.
Malaysia?
Yeah.
So Two-Face been doing shows in Malaysia for 50 years.
Of course.
Jeez.
So now we had to fly Two-Face from Malaysia to Dallas. He came in about 4 days before the show. So, you know, he was like, he didn't give us any trouble whatsoever. He was just, you know how to.
Yeah, Two-Face is real.
He's just chill, you know, nice. He made the whole thing so smooth and easy for us. So he came in and I explained to him, I said, bro, like we stuck here. Timaya is not here. So you're going to be Timaya on Saturday.
Yes.
Wow. So we were like, but do we have to put out a new flyer saying that you're the one performing, whereas people bought ticket?
For Timaya.
So the team, we decided, hey, we're not going to put out any flyer. We're just going to go there. Two-Face is going to perform. And at the end of the show, if anybody wants a refund, we just refund them.
Oh, wow.
So, and then the same show, we also booked Kelly Hanson.
Oh, he was hot like that.
Yeah, that was what he did at MAGA.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had Kelly Hanson on that show. We also had Omotala, the superstar, the movie. The movie star. So that was then she dropped an album or a single. So
man, you had
we had
all-star lineup.
Yeah, we had Omotala performing. Even Omotala and Kelly Hanson didn't even know Timaya wasn't
my
at
goodness.
the show. So come the day of the show, we were all nervous. Our very first show sold out. I'm talking about no single seat left in the building.
You know, there's people I know who've told me that's the best show they've ever been to.
I know.
The very first one.
It was amazing. I'm telling you.
What made it amazing?
It was the first time.
Okay.
You know, we promoted very well. They just wanted I don't know. It was just a different experience.
Experience.
You know, it was just a different experience for him. So, and then in the building that day, it wasn't just Nigerians. It was people from all over Africa. We have Kenyans in the house, people from Congo. It was just it was like African Union. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So after the show, the show started. Kelly Hanson went on first. Omotala went on, and then we didn't even announce Two-Face. I think Two-Face right after Omotala, Two-Face just jumped on stage.
Oh my!
And that was like I never said. Till today, when I think about it, it still gives me chills.
Yes, I can see you feeling it.
And this man was on stage for 2 hours.
Man, you
I'm not
you
playing.
know how hard it is to get artists to perform for 30
I'm
minutes.
telling you, bro.
First of all, you need to have enough hits to perform
Of
for
course.
2 hours.
This guy was on stage for 2 good hours, and
Uh-huh.
he was just giving them back to back to back, and people were singing word for word, and he was just something different, you know. Everybody was just excited. The ambience the experience was amazing. People were jumping up, and I'm still waiting for people to ask for their refund at the end of the show.
Nobody asked for a
So
refund.
as soon as the show was over, we got Two-Face in the car, and then they took him out. They took him back to the hotel, and I was just sitting there waiting to see who was gonna come for a refund. People were like, "Man, you killed it! This show is the best show ever!" Like, man, when is the next one? You know what I'm saying?
Give
Like,
you confidence.
yeah. It was just, oh man, bro. God bless Two-Face, man.
Wow.
He saved the day.
Wow.
He
You
really
know,
saved the
I
day,
know
you
some Jamaicans who argued that Two-Face is Jamaican.
Yeah,
They're like, no, that African Queen song is Jamaican. I'm like, no, it's not.
He's just a real talent, and
Yes.
and then his you know, his humility too, like it's just different. It's just out of this world. When you look at, he started out this movement. He was like the face of Afrobeats, and for him to actually humble himself and just be able to interact with the young, the old, everybody. Like,
You still continue to do shows with Two-Face even today, 20 years after.
of course,
That's
of course.
like unheard
and
of.
And guess what? Like, he still sells out these venues.
He sells out
Of course.
today.
I'm not kidding you. Like, the loving.
Wow.
He has that love. It's crazy.
Wow.
You know?
Tubaba.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out Tubaba. Okay, so now after the Two-Face show, you were one of the first ones who started doing tours across the United States.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience and what made you actually believe that it will work.
No, what really made me want to, like, because I thought about it after that disappointment with Timaya at first. I didn't want to. I didn't ever want to go book a show through somebody, because if you go book a show through somebody, your faith lies. You know, it depends on him. Pretty
Yes.
much, he calls the shots.
Yes.
And whatever disappointment that comes any disappointment within the process, you're not gonna get knowledge of it to the last minute.
Wow.
So that was why I decided, hey, if I'm gonna do this again, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna go do the visas, get the work permits, just build some kind of structure.
Okay.
Where we not, oh, are you sure he's coming? Are you sure he's not coming? You know,
So that you know you have first-hand knowledge of whatever's right or wrong.
Yeah. So after that disappointment with Timaya, I said, hey, I'm gonna have to go to Nigeria if I have to do this business.
Wow.
I have to go to Nigeria. I have to sit down, sign proper contracts with this artist, and then start the visa process. So
How did the artists receive you at that time when you started selling this vision to them?
they loved it. They loved it because there was nobody. People were coming to America and doing, shows here and there.
Okay.
And most of them, 99.9% of them were coming without a work permit. So they will come, they do the shows. They're like hiding to do the shows.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
looking over your shoulder.
Exactly. So now, I'm here, I'm Nigerian, I'm one of you, and I'm trying to do this and take you guys and do it the right way. So the reception was amazing. Like, it's like, I do one tour, that artist after the tour becomes my ambassador. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, I did Two-Face went home, and now I call another artist, hey, I'm Big A, I'm trying to do your tour. Who have you worked with? Two-Face. They call Two-Face, oh, amazing person, you need to go work with him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's how the word spread within the African music, space.
Interesting. So you went from Two-Face and you worked with several artists, right? You're one of the first to really help Flavour blow up in the States, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about how you met Flavour, your relationship, and how you still work together today.
Yeah, Flavour, I call him he's like one of my favorite artists. I don't want to say favorite.
They'll come for you.
You understand? Like, Flavour is my first encounter with Flavour when he first came on tour, when we first brought him on tour. And then we had a show here in Dallas, and he flew into Dallas on the same day. There was a delay with the flight from Nigeria, so he got into New York and then straight to Dallas. So he came straight to the venue at 6 p.m. and the show was starting at 9 p.m.
Ooh.
And he was supposed to perform with a band. And mind you, the band didn't come from Nigeria. We just picked up different. We just set up. We put the band together. We brought a drummer from this church, a guitarist from this.
So when did they learn how to play?
Wait a minute. So they got there at 6. Meanwhile, the band members were already there for rehearsal. So because he was supposed to be in Dallas the day before, but flight got cancelled, all kinds of delays. So the day of the show, 6 p.m., he's there. Mind you, he's never seen these people in his life before. He's never played with them. Flavour started rehearsing. And there was something about him, like he was too passionate about it. And then he played the drums, he played the keyboards, he plays the guitar. He was just teaching these people what to do. You know what I'm saying? I was just sitting there. I was mesmerized. I'm telling you. I'm like,
so he can play all those instruments too?
Of course.
Oh, gee, I didn't know
Of course.
that.
So he sat there and he just did his thing, like, and then he was still rehearsing with him. I'm like, bro, you need to get back to the hotel and get ready. The show is about to start. People were coming in, people that bought tickets and were coming into the show and they were still doing sound check. I'm like, you have to know, he said, bro, I just have to get it right. You can see the passion in his eyes. He said, bro, I just have to get it right. And then he rehearsed till like 9:30, went back to the hotel, came right back. Oof, show was amazing. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Show was amazing. He did it like 1 hour, 30 minutes. He was just something out of this world.
Wow.
Just...
So after the tours, right? How did that transition into African Music Magazine? Right, at that time, it was a print magazine.
Yeah.
What made African Music Magazine unique, and why do you think it was needed in the industry?
Yeah, that was when we started pushing Afrobeats. People didn't know what Afrobeats was outside of Africa.
Okay.
People sometimes I do shows, we get to the airport and they're looking at us, they'll see people carrying guitars and they'll be like, oh, what kind of music do you guys play? They'll be like, oh, are you reggae? Do you play reggae music? Are you a rock star?
Rap and reggae.
Exactly.
The
So
only
like,
two genres in the world.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we play Afrobeats. They're like, what is that? So I just wanted to, create a platform, like an outlet where people can just go, like a one-stop shop where you can go and see what's happening in Africa musically.
Okay.
The songs, the genres, the artists, the lifestyle, just like a one-stop shop. If you're not from Africa, never heard about African music, you can go on to, you can log into the website or get the print and read about what's happening there monthly. Who's the hottest artist right now? Who's making the most money in the industry? Who has the hottest song? Like a countdown, stuff like that. Yeah.
Upcoming artists,
all of
dancers,
exactly.
Producers.
Exactly.
It was giving credit to everyone who plays a role in African music.
Of course. And then we also, I think we were the first platform that actually recognized African dancers.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Because we understood that the music is good, the Afrobeat, the musicians, they do a good job, but the ambassadors are the dancers that translate. They translate the music, the lyrics into movements, body movements.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And even the dance is one thing that unites people.
Yeah.
Even the old people dance.
Yeah.
Young people dance. Even sometimes babies in the stomach dance too.
When they're kicking.
Exactly. So
was that you when you were a baby too?
Of course.
Yeah, dance really does, like you said, it does spread African music to, and any kind of music to even a broader audience. Because even now, TikTok, what is TikTok? People are dancing. Right? Yeah. I mean, there's more obviously to TikTok than dance, but that's a huge part of it. Yeah. And then from the magazine, when you came up with the idea for the awards, what in the world made you do that?
I think what made me do that was, you remember back in the days when all these our artists, big artists, they were getting snubbed at the Grammys, at the BET Awards, at the Hip Hop Awards, just name it, and then I've toured with most of the big names, like I've toured with big, like Whiskey, Davido, Burna Boy, like Flavour, Timaya, just to name a few.
Yeah.
I've worked with them. I've worked with
Diamond,
pretty much Awilo. Like I've seen these big superstars.
Yes.
And we just the problem is that these other American platforms or award shows don't really take their time to study the genre, to study the country, the continent, the people, the music. You know what I'm saying? So they get snubbed at these events. They get nominated. Yeah, they get nominated, and then they hand them out their awards at the pre-show.
At the back.
Yeah, just imagine
where it's hot.
Yeah, just imagine someone flying all the way from Africa.
Oh my gosh, 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours, and then you get here, and you're not even part of the main event.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember one year.
That disrespect.
I remember one year, Whiskey boycotted him and tweeted something on online by the world. Then I'm like, see, I mean, I'm working with these people. Like,
Yes.
I'm bringing them here. Why can't we create something for us? Why don't we create a platform that we can use to celebrate our own from us by us? You know, that was how we came up with AFRIMMA. You know, like let's create a platform for our people, like something we can be proud of, something that they're gonna, you know, learn to respect. I'm talking about the Americans.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
that was how we started AFRIMMA.
And how was the idea received the very first time by the city of Dallas? Because I remember the mayor was involved, and you know you got buy-in from the city.
Yeah, it was something new to them. They were like, African music. So there's something like, I remember going to a meeting.
Yeah.
One of them was like, oh, there's music, there's music like African music.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get to find out on the day of the event. You know, so it was welcoming one, but at the same time, there was some kind of resentment from some of them. But I just wanted them to come and experience it. And most of them that came to the show, they've never missed none of them. So they loved it, and it's just what it is. It's like something you don't know till you experience it.
Yes.
Then that's the only way you can judge and say, hey, I like it or I don't like it. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So you did a lot of shows, magazine, planned for the idea. Then the AFRIMMA came, the very first one, on that day. How did you feel before the show?
Oh, I was nervous. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. It was one of the biggest investments. I mean, that was one of the biggest investments I've ever made at that time.
Yes.
You know, put pretty much my life savings into it. And I was like, this has to work.
Better work.
And, you know, and then at the same time, you know, most of the artists were giving you the runarounds, giving you the headache. You trying to bring an artist from Africa, they want you to fly them. You're gonna fly them business class, and some of them want you to fly their managers business class, and then some of them at the end of the day, after buying the business class ticket, they cancel they miss the flight, and then you have to buy another flight,
another one.
You know what I'm saying? And then they get here, you know, they got to be divas. You have to, you know, massage their.
It's not easy, huh?
It was my first time doing a award show. We had over 30 different artists.
30?
Over 30 artists from different parts of Africa.
That's massive. For your first time?
Yeah.
That's a big.
You know, it was just crazy. Like,
but you're a big ass, so everything you do is big.
Crazy. It was a logistical nightmare. I'm talking about. We planned. It was the first one we planned, but I don't think we expected how big it was going to turn out to be. So it's like artists. We had our logistic team. Some artists get stranded at the airport because they thought they were landing at a different
time. My goodness!
It was just phone ringing off the hook. And,
how did you feel after that first night?
I felt good.
Okay.
I felt like, you know, we did something for Africa. I feel like, you know, we put Africa on the map. At least Dallas knew, America knew, Texas knew that, you know, there's something called African music. There are people from this continent that live here that pay taxes, and we need to recognize them. We need to respect them. They have something unique. They have numbers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Major numbers.
Of course.
Because that first AFRIMA, the list of artists you said, it was just Davido, Diamond Platinums, Flavour,
T-Pain.
T-Pain. Oh my gosh, T-Pain, Fali, Serge Bernard,
Kenny, Eddie Kenzo,
Stanley Eno, Alain from Jamaica. Was DeMarco there too?
DeMarco was there, and then the list goes on and on.
Jeez,
it was crazy.
That's a Kafi did the opening dance.
Yeah, Kafi did the.
Oh, that was a major for your first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do an award show, this is how you do it. Start with all the biggest names, and then deal with all the headache after.
Right.
Right. So after that, your first one, we're in year what, 8 now?
Yeah, 8.
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
What has kept you going?
It's the passion, the love for the music, the love for the people, the love for the culture. You know, like we can do this. Like that's just what it is. We can't stop.
Yeah.
It's just that mindset. We have to keep moving.
Because, you know, you look at some of these other big-time awards, when did they start? 20, 30 plus years ago. You're only 8 years in, but you've made big strides. Right now, African music, Afrobeats, Amapiano, and all these other genres are big time.
Sure.
You were recently at a Burna Boy concert.
Yeah.
How was that?
Mind blowing. Mind blowing. It was just magic. Just say it's magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was about I would say 70% Americans and 30%
What?
Africans. Yeah, on a Wednesday night in
On a
Dallas. So
Wednesday
like,
night?
how is that? How do you, like? This is like, I don't even know. There's no words
There's
for
no
it.
words to describe
I'm
it.
telling you, I was like, this is Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gives you that sense of like, we're here.
Yes.
That gorilla mentality, like
Uh-huh.
we are here.
That's
you know
why
what I'm
he
saying?
uses that
Yeah, I'm like, we're here. You know?
African giant.
Yeah, of course he is. And this dude got on stage and did his thing for 2 hours. He started with the same energy he started with, he ended with. It was an experience.
He did a show with Burna Boy a couple of years ago
I
in
brought him
Dallas
to
too,
Dallas
right?
for the first time.
Well, you
ever.
brought him to Dallas for the
Yeah,
first time.
Yeah. And that was at somewhere in Irving, remember? It was
Yes.
somewhere in
Yeah.
Irving.
Did you see him getting here?
Yes.
You did.
I've always
What did you
believed-
see?
I saw him. First time I met. Let me tell this story. First time I met Burna Boy was in South Africa. I was invited to Channel O Award. That was 2014.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So I didn't see him. I didn't know who he was then. I didn't see him at the award show. So I saw him at the after party. I was with I think Casey and some other artists at the after party. So someone came and tapped me from the back, and I turned around and said, "Hey, I'm Biggie. I'm Burna. You know how he speaks.
Okay.
You know, Biggie. I'm Burna.
Uh-huh.
What's up?" I'm like, "I'm good. What's up?"
You're like, I'm the big dog, not you.
He said, "We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, then he gave me his number.
Uh-huh.
So when he left, I started asking. I asked the other guys, "Who is this?" He said, "Burna Boy. His music is nice." So that was how I got introduced to his music. I started listening to his music, and I became a fan. There was something different about his music. His music had this message. You know what I'm saying? It's just that kind of music you listen to 10 years from now. It's still gonna be. You can still vibe to it.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah. It's not just a trend.
yeah. So when I brought him to Dallas, we did the show in Dallas. He wasn't popular out here.
Okay.
But there was one thing about him, about that show.
Uh-huh.
People that came to that show, I can describe them like they were like disciples of him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
They were like they worship Burna Boy. That's their religion. Like, these are people, mind you, I've been doing shows as at that time, I've been doing shows for like 10, 12 years.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen any of those people in my life. And you know how you say the show starts at 9, people start showing up at 10.
11.
The show was supposed to start at 9, people were there at 8 p.m.
What? For Burna Boy?
Look, this I'm talking about how many years ago?
Wow.
That was like maybe 6.
Yeah, that was a while back. Yeah.
So people showed up to this show. I'm like, who are these people?
Because you're not used to that.
Yeah, they lined up. Then I even came late to the show. Because you know what
You're
I'm
expecting
saying?
people
so
to
I
come
came
at
there
10,
like,
11.
I'm like, this line outside. Didn't they know the show was supposed to start at 9? Like,
So, did you have to call him, hey, show up? Or
the door people started checking them in and checking them in.
Okay.
Then he came in. Because then at that point when I brought him to do the show in Dallas, I only knew one of his songs. That's it. That's the one I listened to.
Okay.
But he had other songs.
Yeah.
So he got on stage, bro. He was on stage for maybe an hour, and everybody in that building sang every song.
Wow.
It was like a sing-along, word for word. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, how did these people get to know about this song? And his energy was out of this world.
His energy is insane.
Energy and then his voice.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and then he came. It was a playback performance, but he came with a performance CD.
Okay.
So you can hear his voice. You know, his voice is just
powerful.
unique.
Yes.
And he would dance, he would jump, he would jump, and he would jump. And
Whatever energy drink is on, I need it.
Oh, man. Yeah. So after the show, I went backstage. I'm like, bro, like, you something else. I don't know if you know it, but you magic. Like, that's what you are.
Wow.
And I told him, like, then I also brought him back to Dallas maybe 3 years ago, right before the pandemic.
Yes.
And he saw what he did, killed, like, sold out show, killed the show. Like, he's one of those artists that just pay him. Leave the rest.
To him, you got it.
You don't have to pay him and worry about who. Is the show gonna be good? Are you gonna be here on time? Are you gonna kill it? Are you gonna? You know what I'm saying? Like this, you pay him, you go to sleep, and then the day of the show you show up. Are you gonna deliver?
Wow, it's an easy way to make money. Pay Burna Boy, make money.
Yeah, of course.
And he'll do the job.
Yeah.
Wow. Same thing with Wizkid too, right?
Yeah.
When you first brought Wizkid to Dallas, he was with the EME group back then. He was Banky,
Rotimi came with
Rotimi,
them too,
Scales. Who else was in that crew?
I don't remember.
Okay, they had a big crew, but it was an EME crew. Yeah, tell us about that at that time. You know, with Wizkid, when you first worked with him, you worked with him over the years, and where he's gotten to today.
No, he's just one thing. One thing I know about any artist that is really relevant today, that is really doing big things in the industry. There's one thing they have in common is hard work and consistency.
Consistency.
Yes.
Why is that such a hard thing?
I don't know, but some people like, it's not that easy. Like, think about it. You have 10 followers or 20 followers.
20.
And then you drop a song. Boom.
Only one likes it.
Nobody knew you, and boom, the song goes viral. It goes crazy. You become the world's favorite. You can get in your head. You can lose your mind. You see, sometimes I feel like most of the artists there has to be like a counselor within the team.
The team, yes.
Someone that's gonna keep you and talk to you and make you understand that you don't get out of track. Because just think about it.
Keep you level-headed.
Of course, from 10 followers to 2 million followers in less than a month.
Fame is a drug.
Of course. And you see here, everybody's telling you they love you. The girls, every girl is telling you, I want to marry you. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody in your DM is telling you everything you want to hear. Nobody is actually taking out time to say, hey, you know, your last show you didn't do well. I didn't enjoy the show. But everybody's there to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah. So
you need that person in your team that's going to be that reality check person. That's going to draw you back and be like, hey, listen. But that's the problem we have sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
So consistency and hard work.
If you look at the artists that are really big in Africa right now, I'm talking about not just one hit wonder.
Yes.
I'm talking about like guys that have been consistent. That's one thing about it. Look in their team.
Yeah.
Just look in their team. There is somebody in that team. There's somebody in that team that's more like a father figure or an older brother or somebody that listens to him. You have to have that. You just have to have that. Or else one day you're gonna self-destruct. You have to have that. Because once you get to that, once you hit that, boom, I'm the biggest, I'm this, I'm baddest. Because you're the baddest at that time, for sure. You're getting calls from presidents.
Everyone.
Presidents are dancing to your song.
Yeah.
You think you're invincible. You think this is you forever. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to have that person within the team that's going to be the one to bring it back to reality.
Yeah. Because real quick, it can just disappear.
Of course.
And then
it's
depression.
Depression.
That's real.
Of course. That's why a lot of artists are on drugs. It's just crazy. Imagine if you go from not being able to walk out this door.
Yes.
And to walking out, not just walking out this door, walking on the street and nobody recognizes you.
Jeez. Because that's what keeps you going, right? People supporting you and loving you and telling you all the things you want to hear. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's incredible, you know, all these major artists you worked with, you know, all across from Africa. Davido, Wizkid, like you named Stanley, Fali, Awilo, you continue to do shows with these people.
Yeah.
But tell me about where you would like to see AFRIMMA go from where it is today. What's your long-term vision? You've already done 8 years. You've been 8 years into it. Yeah. Where do you see it going?
I want it to be an American holiday.
Okay. Oh wow.
For real, I'm
speak it into existence. I like that.
I want it to be. I just want people to look at it, not just an award show.
I love that.
It's just a platform that unites people, that bring people together. You understand what I'm saying? Like last time we had a workshop. We partnered with the city of Dallas, and I told them like, it's not just AFRIMMA is not just for Black Africans. Black people, I want us to come together. I want you all to embrace this heritage, whether we like it or not. You're Black, you're from Africa.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's time for us to use AFRIMMA as a platform to unite Black people, to unite people in general, where people can come together and celebrate the color, celebrate your heritage, celebrate who you are. Know that you like it's not that, just feel like you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? Like here in America, some African Americans don't really trust Africans.
Yes.
Africans don't trust African Americans, but we are the same people.
And that's by design.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's slavery mentality. They show that shit to us. So I just wanted to get to the point where AFRIMMA is just beyond Africans, where it is a platform that unites, Africans, African Americans, people of color. It's just that weekend in a year for us to celebrate our heritage, our culture, our color.
That'll be amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's gonna get there. All we need is just support. That's it.
That just brings the image of Booga, this video of Kiss Daniel.
Yeah.
That just looks like AFRIMMA for 4 days.
Of course.
Yeah, and you get to experience all parts of all things about Africa.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, what do you have in your playlist?
My playlist?
Yes.
Oh,
Like, what did you play today? What African song did you play today?
I play all kinds of songs. I play from East African music.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly I don't even really listen to American music anymore.
Really?
Only when my kids are playing it in the car. But I mean,
Turn that nonsense off.
yeah, I just like every month I try to find an artist from Africa that I've never heard before. Like, not like the big names, like the upcoming artists. Like, music. It's just a passion. I love it, you know. So I listen to the upcoming artists from different regions. I listen to North African music.
North African music?
Of course.
Yeah.
Like I listen to all kinds of African music. If you look at my genre, my playlist is crazy. It's all over the place.
Because North Africa, I remember when they were first included in the AFRIMMA Awards, they bombarded the page.
That's right.
Because they never feel
They never felt
included.
Like, yeah, exactly.
You know, nobody talks about them,
Of
but
course.
AFRIMMA does.
Exactly.
That's what makes AFRIMMA
It's
special.
inclusion.
Yeah.
You know?
So when we have that AFRIMMA holiday, you know, get your tickets, business class tickets,
That's
first
right.
class tickets.
That's right.
Don't miss your flight.
And one thing is this, right? Like, I also want the African artists, the big ones. The big ones. I'm talking about the big ones. They also have to embrace, like most of the artists that have been to AFRIMMA, that was when they first started. They got big. They came to AFRIMMA, and now they're making millions of dollars per show. And now they feel like, oh, I don't need to come to AFRIMMA.
I'm too big now.
I'm too big now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is you. You can't be bigger than your culture. You understand what I'm saying? And we built this for you.
Promote you.
You built this for you. It's not about like seriously. Like there's no other African, African produced award show outside of Africa that's like AFRIMMA. There's none. None. And we try to maintain the standard of the BET standard. We try to make it to where when you come there, you're not gonna be like, oh, this is just another. You know what I'm saying? If you've been to AFRIMMA, one thing you have to understand is that it's well put together. Is you can compare it to any major award show in America. So now that the big artists that we made, now they look at it, I can't come. But the people, we just invite them to the Oscars one time. They'll fly themselves, they put themselves in the hotel, and they still don't make it to this main show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't even consider
I don't even know what these slave masters did to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then look at it right here in America. The award shows in America, the biggest American artists like Beyonce still goes to BET Awards. Because it's their own. And one thing I give to African Americans, the blacks, they respect anything that has to do with their blackness, their color, their people. You know what I'm saying? Like they support it, like no other. Because if you don't build your home, nobody's gonna build
it for you.
You know, forget about all this. Whatever is happening in Afrobeats today, we all paid the price to get it to where it is.
High price.
From the DJs to the promoters we paid to get it here.
Yes.
And the least you guys can do to pay us back is support.
Just show up.
Show up.
That's it.
Just show up. Because if someone, let's say the biggest artist in Nigeria or Africa comes to AFRIMMA and tweets, oh, I'll be at AFRIMMA this weekend.
They'll come.
You see what I'm saying?
That's major.
For real. And then at the end of the day, you're still gonna benefit from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a challenge that some people who are not involved in the award show may not know.
Yeah.
You like you said, you pay the high price to get it to where it is, and then once some people benefit from it, they move on.
Yeah.
But you know what? The industry will always humble you.
That's
You
true.
always just sit back, you wait, and the industry will teach you.
Yeah. That's true.
Because
Very
the way
true.
that fame comes, you could go.
Yeah.
And then you're back to square one, and then they'll be
True.
coming back. Hey, AFRIMMA, can you?
And what is funny about this entertainment industry is this: like the people you met on your way up, you're still gonna see them on your way
You
down.
can see them.
And those ones that helped you get you up there, then when you about to sleep from that top, they're only gonna catch you based on relationship you built when you were up there. I don't know if you understand
Yes.
what I'm saying. It's just how life works. It's just how life works. I know fame is a very big drug, but hey, at the end of the day, you just have to be conscious of it. You just have to understand where you came from. That's the biggest reality check. When you living in the moment, sometimes you have to go back and realize, hey, I came from somewhere. I remember when I didn't have nothing. And your biggest fear should be, I don't want to go back there.
Mm-hmm. That's deep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Deep. Tales of Big A.
You know?
What do you do in your free time?
I love tennis. I play tennis.
You play tennis?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I feel sorry for that racket.
I love to play tennis. I love to hang out with friends. And, you know.
Wow. What other genres of music do you listen to outside of African music? I know you said only African music, but just give me one.
Dancehall.
Dancehall?
I worked with some of them.
Okay.
Dancehall.
Okay. Yeah, you worked with DeMarco.
DeMarco.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Dancehall.
He's actually coming to Dallas for a show sometime soon.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to link up.
You can pull him to the podcast.
Absolutely. Oh, that would be a great idea. Yes, talk about how he worked with you,
Yeah.
and where he's gotten to. So, and then tell me about you're also working on signing other musicians, right? You just there's this artist you're going to be working with called SP.
SP. Yeah.
Tell us about SP.
You know, I had a label back in the days. I signed the artist and the frustration, just trying to run it from here. And my vision has always been to find a way to empower the upcoming artists, because they're still going to be the future of the culture, the flag bearers of the genre Afrobeat. So mentorship is a big thing for me when it comes to music and entertainment. So I signed a couple of artists. I signed some here in Dallas, and most of them are successful now. But you know how it is. Some of them are still struggling to get to their destination. So I decided last year that I was gonna start signing artists again.
Okay.
Use my platform to see how far I can push them.
Okay.
And of course now it's easier to promote music
social media
compared to 10 years ago. So
yes.
I signed this young man, SP. He's in his early 20s, and we're dropping a song August 5th. Yeah, it's titled. It's a collaboration with Fino.
Fino.
Yeah, so
you brought Fino here first too.
Yes.
Yeah, who haven't you brought here first?
Yeah, so it's titled Mi Amo. So we're dropping the song and the video August 5th.
Okay. You still have the energy for uplifting young,
of course,
upcoming artists.
Of course.
That's good. So you got the big ones, you got the young ones, in between, everyone.
Of course.
So if I want to get into entertainment, what would you be your advice to me?
You just have to have the passion for it. The passion is number one.
Passion number one.
You don't have to. You can't get into it for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
Or else you're not gonna.
And what's the wrong reasons that you see?
Some people just want to do it because everybody's making money from it. That's what's in right now.
Is everyone making money from it?
The ones that are some people, people are making money. Some of them are making money from it. But I'm talking about if you want to pursue music as a career, you have to have the passion, because the passion is what's going to drive you. The passion is what's going to make you dedicate time to rehearsing, practicing, learning to do new things, improving on whatever you're doing. It's just the passion is the number one thing. You have to have the passion for it.
Okay.
And passion, talent, work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different. There are so many things you have to put in place and together to be successful as an artist.
Okay. So everything we've talked about sums up in one tagline: crossing boundaries in music.
Yeah.
Explain to our viewers what that means and what it means to you.
Crossing boundaries in music is just using music as a platform to spread the message.
Okay.
Crossing boundaries with music, bringing our culture. There's no other vehicle. There's no faster vehicle to push music. To push the culture than through music or fashion. So I chose music. So music, everybody dances. I'm sure you've danced to Indian music without even knowing what they're
of course.
About.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to tell our story through music. That's crossing boundaries of music. Our music has to leave the shores of Africa where it is. So we're going to find a way to push it. We have to find a way to push our culture from that shores of Africa to America. So we're using music to push the culture.
You're right. You said you flew Two-Face from Malaysia.
Of course.
He was crossing boundaries of music back then.
Of course.
You need to sue him because he's using your tagline. He hasn't paid you royalties.
And the good thing about, let me take you back. Remember when the first AFRIMMA, one thing that really made me keep doing this thing was after we did the first AFRIMMA, I remember Diamond Platinum. That was his first time in America.
That was his first time, yes.
First time in America, and he won Best Male East Africa.
Okay.
Best Male East Africa. And he went home. It was like he was welcomed by the whole country. It was like it was like this, like it was the celebration was crazy. It's on YouTube.
Yes.
You know, like when I watched it, it just gave me goosebumps.
Wow.
Like we are here and we're touching lives.
Yes.
We're touching lives. I mean, imagine how many kids that saw that clip that went to that airport to welcome him that never believed it was possible.
The Ghetto Kids
Of
won an
course.
award too.
Yes, of course.
Right?
We brought the Ghetto Kids from
Ghetto Kids,
Uganda,
Uganda.
right? Yeah.
Yep, they won the
They won
award.
the award, and it's just,
They were French Montana.
of course,
Video has 1.6 billion
of
views.
course. So it's just, there's no faster way to touch lives than music. Trust me, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. Like, there's no faster way to touch people than music.
Yes, some countries got their first awards ever.
Yep.
Right.
Some countries that people didn't even know they had musicians in those countries.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
it's true. It's true.
You know?
And like you said, giving credit to everyone involved in the creation of music outside of just the artists.
True.
Yes. So I think AFRIMMA has a extremely bright future. I'm sure everyone is excited to see how AFRIMMA is going to be this year, which is going to be the first time that's going to be in person.
After the
Last 2
pandemic,
years
yeah, it was online.
was virtual.
Yeah,
Tell us about what went through your mind when the pandemic hit.
I was like, wow, we've worked this hard to build this platform, and now what?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know, like, I didn't know that people were going to transition from normal life to living online.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a different experience, but I think it gave us time for us to, dig in, think, and find out exactly what else we can do to propel the culture. And we did it online, and it had about almost 1 million views. That means people were still watching. So people were still watching from the living room, from their workplace, wherever they are. So this year we also trying to incorporate where we can stream it live where it's still happening.
So in person and online.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on. So not everything that came out of the pandemic was not negative.
Okay.
We learned a lot from the pandemic.
Reached a lot more people.
Of course. Of course.
This year's theme, This is Africa. What's that about?
This is Africa. We're here. 8 years ago, we were not here. We went to Burna Boy's concert. It was about 10,000 people. We were not here 10
This
years
is
ago.
Africa.
I remember when I started pushing African music back in the days. I remember traveling to different cities with different artists, and to do shows. You get to some cities after all these promotions, and you only see 50 people come out to the venue. I'm talking about a venue of about 1,000 capacity. And you get to the venue, you're disappointed. It's just like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, the message, people hadn't gotten the message then. Africans, that doesn't mean Africans were not here. They were here, but maybe they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was about. They didn't really understand the music, especially the ones that left Africa when they were really, really young. So now, this is Africa. We're in Africa, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So we just gotta make do of what we have around us, embrace us, and keep telling our stories. So this year we're in Africa.
This is Africa. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive.
That's right.
Yep. Okay, so if I want to find you online, where do I go?
On Instagram, you can go to BIGAENT, BIGAENT on Instagram, BIGAENT on Twitter, Facebook, same thing.
Okay. Doing it big. Find the man on all social media platforms, Mr. Big A. It was fun talking to you. We're going to do this again because I'm sure you have a lot more stories about
Of course.
this entertainment industry. And till next time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
For sure.